Hello everyone and welcome to this video walkthrough for the Cayo Perico setup and heist missions for GTA Online. There's no need to like this video or subscribe to this channel. This is just a video I said I would make whenever I created the topic on the GTA forums back when the heist first came out. It's basically just a visual representation of the topic myself and a few others put into researching the heist whenever it first came out, and how to do the heist in the most optimal way. I'm not going to try and talk too much over it, so we'll get registered up as an AMC president first of all. Which we do because later on we're going to need to spawn in our oppressor, so it's much easier to do that than being a CEO. And first up, of course, we're going to have to go and gather intel. It's given us Lago Zancudo, which is one of the best, if not the best. And when I say best, I simply mean in terms of distance that you're going to have to fly in the Vellum to get to Cayo Perico. So Lago Zancudo means we're going to go to Chumash. It's the quickest spawn location to get to the Vellum. And yeah, like I say, it's one of the best. Grapeseed is also not too bad, but if it's going to give you Perico Cove and stuff, it means you're going to have to fly all the way across the map, and that's just no bueno. So you guys know this mission if you played the Cayo Perico Heist before. The location is the only thing that's different. Once you get there, it's going to be the Vellum and a drug deal taking place, and you need to take out the guys who are waiting there. Whenever you buy the submarine, like I said in the topic, it's recommended to buy the Sparrow along with it as well. Originally, when I started doing this heist, I used the Sparrow for all of the setup missions, but now I've gotten more comfortable with it and back to using the Mark II oppressor. I only use the Sparrow for this one mission, but it still obviously comes in handy for getting there. So once we get to the Vellum itself, I try and avoid shooting rockets near the Vellum. I used to just go complete ham whenever I started doing this and firing rockets left, right and centre. But now, after a couple of instances where the Vellum got damaged so badly that it couldn't fly across the map to Cayo Perico, I actually try and get the lock on just to the vehicle that's sitting there beside the Vellum, as well as if I can get any guys as well. And I'll usually land the Sparrow, and then there may be a guy who you still need to take out with a gun. Sometimes you can get lucky and take out all the enemies without touching the Vellum whatsoever, but it's kind of just kind of pot luck, really. So that first one is on the car that's down there, and that second one should be the guys in the middle. There should be a third guy standing at the Vellum, and if you don't get him, then that's the one you're going to have to land and take out. Wow. GTA for you. Just a flesh wound. Okay, so you guys know the drill here. We're going to get in the Vellum. We're going to fly to Cayo Perico. You guys don't need to sit and watch me doing that, so I'm going to cut this video here, and then we'll pick it up again once we land on the island. Alright, that's us arrived on the island now. Just as this cutscene plays out, I will clarify that I am playing this on the PS5. That's then hooked up to my PC via an Elgato HD60. So the loading times would be a bit quicker. I don't think it's recording in 4K. I don't think the HD60 has the capability of recording 4K, so I think this is just going to go up at 1080p, which I don't mind because it'll take quicker to upload to YouTube anyway, as well as render out once I edit it together. So yeah, basically we're going to be running over, getting the bike. We're going to take the bike all the way to the communications tower. We're not going to be scoping out any of the secondary targets. There's really no need. Just going to crash through the fence because screw it. Just going to avoid any of the foliage that the island has as well, which is one of the worst things about this house by miles. So we're going to head over here on the right hand side, all the way over to the main road. Like I say, trying to avoid foliage, but sure. You gotta love this game and its use of physics. Seriously, metal and wood. Guys need to look it up. So we're gonna power on over this direction. There is a guard there this time. At this intersection you can normally cut across here, but there's a guard here just to the right. So we're gonna have to go around him. We're looking to go into the gate here. There is no car coming, so we can just continue on round here. There actually is a car coming, actually, so... But they shouldn't see us since we're in the bushes here and stuff. And we're going to have to sit here anyway, because what we're doing is we're waiting on this cone of vision here from the guard in the tower to change direction, which he has just done. Avoid this tree if we could. And then we're just going to power on over here to this main road, and this is going to basically take us up to the communications tower. So since we're just basically going through the methodology of how I do the setup missions and the heist itself, we're not going to worry too much about what's in the vault. Of course, you always want to get the highest paying item, which is the diamond, but even if we get the tequila here, I'm just going to continue on with it. It's not a big deal. I'm not really doing this for the payout this time. I'm just doing this for the method of how I do the heist itself. We're actually a bit lucky here as well in that the signal box is here on the ground floor, so it saves us having to climb up the tower. And what you have to do here, you should normally have to do some mathematics and work out what is the correct voltage to input. I actually just mash the A or X button depending on which console you're on, and just go to the relevant counterpart on the right hand side. Sometimes works first time like it just did there, sometimes it can take you 6 or 7 tries. But I'm not really up for doing the maths. And there's no penalty for getting it wrong. So once we're in the feed, we're going to go 3 to the right. So we're going to go through the animal cages, to the panther, to the courtyard, and then we'll be in the basement. So there's nothing in the glass case, which means there's going to be bearer bonds in the safe. And that just means there's just going to be a different setup mission, which is no big deal. So we're going to keep going through the cameras because I actually prefer to get a painting. There's not one there. Hopefully there's one on the other side. Which there is, that's good. The reason I prefer to get a painting is because there's people who do this heist in their own way. Some prefer to do it in a speedrunning fashion in terms of getting the heist over and done quickly. Some people prefer to get the absolute max payout. I kind of try and strike a happy medium with both. Okay, we're trying to get cut by, yeah, there we go. Basically the reason I drove down there is because there was no guard up at the communications tower. And the purpose of what we're trying to do there is get caught because it's the fastest way to get back to the Vellum, to get back to Los Santos and get started with the setup missions. So yeah, like I was saying, I prefer there to be one painting. The reason for that is because with one painting, and if you're looking to do the elite challenge, you're going to need to have a full loot bag. A painting will take off half of the loot bag for starters, and that leaves you then to pick up some secondary loot down at your exit point on the island. Sometimes I've got no paintings and I haven't had enough secondary loot down at the exit point, which would be the main docks, and I failed to get the elite challenge. So I always try and get one painting in there. Even though paintings are, I believe, the least valuable secondary loot that you can get. I think top to bottom, mine is gold because we're doing this solo. I think top to bottom you're looking at cocaine, weed, cash, and then paintings. So yeah, I always just try and get a painting, one painting, just so that the loot bag's half full. We don't need to listen to Pavel. What we need to do is we're going to want to return our Kasaka back into storage because we want to respawn it closer to us. So once we return it, we're going to go out and we're going to spawn in our Mark II oppressor. So usually when we get to about the end of these here, it should be time to call in our Kasaka again. There we go. No, actually, that's actually incorrect. We don't want to spawn an Indian, apologies. We want to spawn our Mark II, first of all. And then we want to head out to Vespucci Beach. The reason you don't want to spawn it in there is because it could potentially spawn lower behind the airport here on the map, which is a little bit longer to travel, which we obviously don't want. So as you can see, my yacht's in here as well. So once we get there around about my yacht, I'll actually just land on it, and that's when I'll call in my oppressor. Or call in my Kasaka, sorry. I'm fingers crossed it spawns in. I don't want to get this video taken off for copyright, so I'm going to cut out the radio. There we go. So as I explained earlier, originally whenever I started doing these, I was using the Sparrow because it became difficult to land the Mark II oppressor on the submarine. But there is basically a method you can do it that isn't too difficult. You're basically just going to want to line it up with the head. Take it in here to this part here where some missiles would launch it, and when you get off it, just make sure it's kind of in the middle, just like that. If you're quick enough when you run into your submarine, you select your mission and then you come back out, it should still be in the same place. If you do leave it too long, it will slide off and get destroyed, which obviously is what you don't want. So once you're inside, just make sure not to run into this little part in front. Get to the main screen. We're going to go over to our equipment. We're not going to do our approach vehicle now. We're going to do the prep mission first. You don't need to do the demolition charges because we're getting the cutting charge. So we'll crack on with the safe code. So this is a setup mission that differs slightly depending on what you get in the vault. If you get something that's in the glass case, you're going to need to get the plasma cutter off a gang. There, by the way, as you can see, the Mark II oppressor is still sitting where you left it, which is awesome. This mission here, you have to go to the casino to take out the associate of El Rubio who has the code. If you were doing the other one, you would have to go to a location where there's no enemies first of all. It's just a building with no enemies. And there's a heist planning board in there. You'd need to take a picture of that and send it to Pavel, sorry. And then you would need to fly to the location where the heist guys are, take them out, steal the plasma cutter. We're not going to be doing this because we have gotten this mission. And this basically means we need to land at the side of the casino. If you land at the side of the casino where the entrance to the parking garage is, that's where you're going to spawn when you come outside of it. So it's always best to park there. And to be honest, I'm not too sure if you guys who are doing this or watching have a penthouse. I do have a penthouse, so I'm not too sure what happens if you don't have a penthouse. But basically when we walk in here, we're literally just going to go to the elevator on the left hand side of the entrance. So here's where we're talking about landing your vehicle. Just land it right here because this is where you're going to spawn when you exit the casino. And when you exit the casino, you're going to have cops on you, so it's the best place to park it for a quick getaway. Yep, so like I say, once we're inside, if you have a penthouse, you just literally go to this elevator here. And then once we get up here, we're going to be looking for the two guards standing at a doorway. That's going to indicate which of the penthouses the associate is in. Alright, so I usually just do like a full lap of the upper area here. Okay, so they're not down that way. This way it's just an our foyer, so they should be down this back end. Okay, they're not down that way either. There we go. So for this one, I just have an advanced a sniper rifle with an advanced scope and a suppressor. If you line up the two guards together, you should be able to take them out with one shot. That. I'm not actually too sure if it's possible to do this mission completely stealth. So that'll be something I'm curious about. If anybody's did that, can let me know. When we get in here, it's not difficult to locate the guard, but once you take him out, all of his bodyguards are going to be on you. So we'll just take a minute and we'll go see if we can find this guy. Sometimes he can be in that room down there, which he isn't. Sometimes he'll be at the bar in this direction, and if not, then he'll be in like a side room down the other side of the penthouse. I don't think he's there, which he isn't. So that usually means he's way down this side. Yep, there he is. So. Okay, so all the guards are going to be on you at this point. I'm just going to go ahead and try and get the code now before I make my way out. Okay, I got lucky there with the guard right at the door. I was able to melee him. I didn't even mean to do that. So now it's time just to GTF away to here. I think I actually went the wrong way, but it's no big deal. Usually for all these missions, as well as the heist itself, I'm using the aggressor shotgun. It just shreds through people, you know. So that should be us. And there's that point there where I was saying we're going to spawn out at the parking garage entrance. And it's just a simple case of now that we have the code, just flying back to the sub and start the next one. Alright, so that's the first prep mission done. I'm just going to pick it up here again and show you guys just landing the oppressor. Actually going to move it forward a bit. I can be very picky about where I park this oppressor on the submarine just to make sure that I don't lose it. So that's the save codes delivered. Next up should be the fingerprint scanner. And again, these aren't hard missions. They are very simple. And this one's pretty straightforward again. I mean, there is some enemies, but I mean, as long as you take out the cameras, you'll be completely undetected.
So, first the bad news. Mr. Rubio's fingerprint scanner cannot be hacked by any ordinary tool. Good news, there is a fail-safe tool, which can reconstruct Mr.
So yeah, basically when you get here, you're just going to look for the camera box at the side of where the building is. Once you take out the cameras, you just go inside, and it's completely up to you how you want to take out the guards that are inside. I usually just go for a sticky bomb right in the middle and take a lot of them out. Problem is, well, sometimes is I can't commit suicide. Also with this one as well, I sometimes avoid flying directly to the marker. I actually will lower it down here and take this road. The reason for that is because sometimes if you fly over it, despite being high up in the air, the cameras still detect you for some reason. I don't know why it does that. Kind of position it right about here, and then that way I can just run around the camera line of sight. Then the signal box is usually down the side of this building. Yeah, so with the cameras taken out, I'll just select my sticky bombs for ready for when I get in there. I'm actually going to try not to commit suicide here, so I'm going to take cover behind this and then... Nope, didn't work. Every time, always commit suicide. The only good thing about that though is that the guards are definitely dead, so it's just a case of going back in and then getting the location off the laptop. So the laptop, of course, will be down the back. If this guy would move out of the way. And we're just looking to spell Panthers, which isn't difficult at all. That'll give us the location of the archive. And again, the archive is just, it's nothing, you know, there isn't even any enemies. You're just going to let me get there, take out 2 security cameras, and then lift the fingerprint scanner. The spawn location for this can be in one of 2 places. I think this one's going to be over at Vespucci Beach, which is handy because that's right where our submarine is. The other one it can spawn is right under the freeway. But either way, it's just a difference in location. The actual building itself is the same. It's just a reskin of... It's not even a reskin. It's the exact same layout of the underground section of the arcade for when you were doing the casino heist. They've just stuck a couple of vehicles and props in there. Another reason why I prefer using the Mark II oppressive these as well is that it's just much easier to land as well. Landing the Sparrow in these places can be a bit of a nightmare. So the Mark II oppressor just makes that all much easier, all the much easier with handling. So I think we're over in this direction, somewhere around here. Yep. You can get off and shoot the cameras, but I actually just use the rockets on the Mark II oppressor to try and take the cameras out. Alright. And like I say, there's literally no enemies. You're just literally running in and picking up the scanner, and away you go. And that'll be another setup mission done.
The fail-safe tool will be small card with circuit board and antennae.
Again, this is all just subjective. This is how I prefer doing it. It's just nice and easy. No hassle. Just it's the way I know. I'm sure everybody else out there has different opinions and ways on how they prefer doing it. I know when we come later on to your entry vehicle, some people prefer to use the long fin over the submarine due to the submarine setup mission. I did try it once. I did try that mission once for the research purposes and creating the topic, and it was just the hassle of the cops and the Phantom Wedge, and I know you can kill yourself and stuff, but I don't know, I just prefer the Merryweather sub. But we'll come to that later on once we get to that prep mission. So again, just parking our Mark II oppressor up here. And again, as long as we're quick enough getting in here, selecting the mission on the screen and getting back out, your oppressor should never go anywhere. You should never be in danger of losing it. Alright, so next up is the final equipment that we need, which is the cutting torch. And again, 5-minute max mission. Shouldn't be any bother whatsoever. Literally go to your construction site and steal the cutting torch. So, and that's usually why we select Vespucci Beach, where we basically dock our sub for all of these missions. It's always going to be the closest. The only one that can be an FFS moment, if you want to put it like that, is the next one, when we come to the weapons. That can be you have either a really good one or a really bad one. And again, like the Vellum, it's not bad in terms of difficulty, it's just the amount of time it's going to take to do it. We'll come to that in a second though, once we get this mission out of the way. So basically, if you can, depending on where you have to go for this, always try and get your hard hat. If you can, always try and get the hard hat. It's going to be in different locations, which you kind of have to remember. I'm going to try and remember. Oh, there it is. Yep. So the hard hat will just be here on the right hand side of this location. Sometimes it can be scattered about in different locations in terms of the construction site. But once you have your hard hat on, this one's a little bit difficult as well because it's also convoluted. And I think you alert the guards by touching them, much like you did in the casino heist when you touched a guard. Oh, that would have been so handy if it was in that box. You can get other construction sites where they're a little bit more spaced out. In this one, they're all kind of convoluted together, which isn't too bad. But like I say, you then run the risk of bumping into a guard a lot more. So I believe we have checked all the boxes on the upper levels. I think we're going to go down. Oh wait, there's one there. Okay, see, no idea what happened there, and that is certainly not where I wanted to jump. So we're just going to have to basically take out all of these guards. I'm actually just going to go with the shotgun. Okay. So once you've taken out the guards, if you do get caught, then it's just... Oh, wait, there's another guard. Who's doing that shit? Alright, whatever. So that's all the guards taken out of. Tell me it's in this ground floor one. Okay, it's definitely not going to be down there, so it must be in that one over there. Yep, there we go. Not ideal. If it was in, like, for example, you can cut a lot of time if it's you get that good spawn where it's in the first box. None of the enemies detect you, things like that. Once now we're getting out here, we're going to have 2 cars on us, but like, I mean, you're going to be in your oppressor. You should be able to just take up before they even get near you. And that's basically another mission in the bag. Yeah, like I say, you can get other locations where they're a bit more spaced out. And it's a little bit easier to navigate and not get detected by the guards. And again, if you get a good RNG with the cutting torches in the first box you go to, I mean, you'd be absolutely flying. But even if you get like a little bit of hassle like that, it's still no big deal. It's nothing that's really going to tax you, you know? You're not going to die. So we'll just make our way back to the sub. And we have one more mission to do with the oppressor. Once we do this last mission, then that's the oppressor can be put away. We're not going to be using it again. And so this last mission we're going to be doing is the weapons setup. So weapon choice I go for is the aggressor. That's going to give you the shotgun. And like I said earlier, this is either really good or really bad. Really good is if it gives you the office block version of this mission. Really bad is the Merryweather one. And like I say, the very simple reason between the difference between good and bad is time. That is literally it. So we're going to go to weapons loaded. We're going to pick the aggressor. We're going to accept that. Thankfully, thank God, it has given us the office block. The Merryweather one just sucks because you have to follow the slowest Valkyrie in the world, possibly all the way to almost the top of the map. And once you get there, you have to take out a bunch of guards. You then to get into the Avenger, take out those guards, get the weapons loaded out, jump out of the Avenger, parachute to the ground, and then fly all the way back down the map again. It can be really time consuming. But at least with this one, the office block, again, we're right in the center of Los Santos. This is 5 minutes max, if even. And the good thing about keeping the Mark II Oppressor is you can use the upper entrance to the office block. So you don't need to go at ground level and take out any guards. All you need to be concerned about is the guards that are on the inside, which is just basically, if you own an office block in GTA, it's the exact same layout. For this mission though, I would recommend throwing on some body armor if you have it. So we get off here. I'm actually going to angle the other way. The reason for that is because I want a clear takeoff point, and I would hazard a guess I would crash into those pillars up there. And it can depend on if it spawns in the buzzards once you exit here. So like I say, get a bit of body armor on here just in case. And I'm going to go with the assault shotgun again, which makes light work of enemies. Right, so now we're in here. Just going to take out the guards. Okay, that should be those guys. You don't even need to worry about this guy in here on the left, but I'm going to go and take him out anyway. And once that's done, you can put your gun away. And we're going to go to the wall safe, which is going to be locked. So you need to hack the laptop here. And this one I suck at. I always struggle to see the numbers that you need for some reason. So 9780, 9780, 9780. You guys probably see it already. I don't. There's 97. Still can't see it. I am seriously blind. 97's down there. Maybe this is going to turn in. Yep. So there we go. I love how the map glitches again. For some reason the map during the Cayo Perico setup missions just goes ape shit. I don't know what's up with it. So once we have that open, we can then get our weapons for the heist. And because we parked our oppressor on the roof, we can just use that to just literally fly away. The only thing to watch out for here is you're going to be heading left on your D-pad and not right to go to the roof and not the ground level. You don't want to go to the ground level. Your oppressor's on the roof, that's where we need to go to. Just firing random rockets and hoping I hit one of them. You don't even need to take them out. You can literally just get in your oppressor and fly back to your submarine. It's no big deal. So that basically leaves us now with one other setup mission, and that's our vehicle that we want. And like I say in the topic, I choose the submarine. I know there's a lot of opinions on what's better, what's faster, what's easier. Again, it's all subjective. Nobody's right, nobody's wrong. You just do what you feel comfortable with. I just think this way is just... I haven't really timed, to be honest with you. But with your fast travelling and then submerging the sub, you're not going to really run the risk of any enemies, except when you're inside the Merryweather sub. And as long as you're taking cover or using like sticky bombs or grenades, you're not going to take any damage. So it really doesn't matter what way we park the oppressor here now, because we're actually going to be returning it to storage. We don't need it anymore. So we'll get back in our sub. That's that mission done. And then we're going to start up our last mission before the heist. So that'll be our approach vehicle, which we're going with the Kosatka. I always have trouble saying that word. Kosatka, is it? Anyway, so we need to go to the Merryweather test site. So it's basically just looking at your map and seeing where we need to go to in terms of fast traveling. It's usually at the top of the map somewhere. I'm not too sure if the Paleto Forest is the closest one to that. We might get a closer one. Hang on. Oh yeah, that one's much closer, so we'll take that. Okay, and so when we spawn in here, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be driving the submarine as close as we can to the Merryweather sub, whilst we're also submerged underwater. If you're on consoles, you're literally just going to use the right trigger to drive, once we press X to tell the game we want to drive it. So we're literally holding the right trigger to drive the submarine. We're using the right button to turn it right. Then once we get our line up, we're going to hold in the X button to completely submerge the submarine. I'm actually going to go into first person mode as well, if I can. So I like to go into first person mode because it's kind of easier to see. And I usually like going to about 300-400 feet. I think I'm a little bit low, so I think I'm going to come up a bit. And the reason we're submerging as well, because if you travel on the water level, there's boats and there's helicopters and things like that up there that can kill you. Okay, so just right now, I'm not too sure if you guys can see it, the yellow marker has popped in. I'm just trying to, well, I was trying to angle my target, so it's picking up some boats up top, so I'm going to fire a torpedo up because screw it. But just ahead you can see the Merryweather sub now. We're literally going to drive right up to it. Literally going to drive up right up to it, and then we're going to hit right on the D-pad once we get close enough. And what that's going to do is that's going to activate the autopilot. We're going to hit triangle to come out of this. The autopilot is going to keep our submarine submerged underwater. So once we're back, we'll take it out of first person view. We'll get up, we'll run down to get our scuba gear on. And then we're going to go up and enter the Merryweather submarine. Which should just be right here. Easy. So once we're in here, I would recommend getting some body armor on. This can be a little bit difficult, but not if you just play it safe enough. There are 3 locations where this can spawn. There, again, in the theme of this mission, there's one really good one, a medium one, and a bad one. Just going to take out these guards first of all. So the good one would be right here at the end of this corridor. There's our what we would call our planning room. Just trying to get the angle right here to take out this guard. Let's him down. We're just going to look into this room first of all. We're going to use the camera to see if it's here, which is not. So see on the right hand side there where that table is and the guard standing, you would see it there if it had spawned there, but it hasn't. That's the good one, so unfortunately we're going to have to go down to the lower levels. The medium one can be in the room where our Sparrow would be. You're going to have to take out some more guards, but that's no big deal. And then the worst one is way at the back, at the other side of the submarine. Just be careful around here. You can sometimes have some guards like him. So that guard, the red dot there is a guard below me. You'll have a guard here. Okay, so we'll take him out. For some reason, my guy's just drunk or something. I don't have a clue. What is he at? Like, what? Oh, this game. You gotta love Grand Theft Auto, man. Just watch out down here. There can be sometimes a guard. There he is. So we'll take him out. So down these stairs here is where the second spawn location can be. Right here in this pipe here, which it isn't, which means I would recommend getting some more body armor on if you need it. Because we're going to have to go all the way to the other side of the submarine, taking all the enemies out. So just be prepared. Just always watching your corners and things like that. So those 2 taken out. Should be one more guard in here. And there at the very back in the worst location is our sonar jammer. Again, in terms of time, if you get it up top in our planning room of this sub, it's easily the best and the quickest. That unfortunately is the worst, because you just basically have to spend a lot of time getting to the very bottom of this submarine and then having to run all the way back. And of course having to put up with the clipping in the walls that your character will hit absolutely everything and just stop running altogether. So we'll get back up to the ladder and then we can finally get off the submarine, and that is us ready to start the heist. And there's our submarine right in front of us, so we just fly over to the door. Fly over to the door! Swim over to the door, apologies. And once we get in here, that is it. We are ready to go, we are ready to start the heist. I'm going to cut the video here and split these up into 2 separate videos. So I'll leave it here for now, and then for the next video, we'll actually go through the heist.